Welcome back to Superstarglam. Today I wanted to create this look. It's very bold and smoky and metallic and blue, which is my favorite color. So if you'd like to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. So I'm starting off with my entire face already done, and I'm taking the Kat Von D Metal Matte palette, and I'm taking the shade Suede as my transition shade in the crease area. Although we're going to be covering the entire lid, I wanted to define my crease with the transition shade, because that's what's going to make it so it is all blendable at the end and there are no harsh lines. Now I'm taking the Kat Von D palette again, and I am taking a fluffy brush, and I am taking the shade Feather from the palette and then just buffing out that crease color to make sure there's no harsh lines. So I started applying the blue shade, and then I realized there was going to be fallout and it was going to be really messy. So I went back and I applied powder, kind of like baking underneath to make it easier to wisp away all the fallout at the end. And now I'm going to take the shade Velour from the palette, the matte blue shade, and apply it all over my lid. And really what I'm doing with the shade is I'm covering the entire lid, but at the same time I'm also mapping out exactly the shape that I'm trying to do, since I am bringing it all the way up to the crease area. Since I have slightly hooded eyes, I want to make sure that when I open my eyes I can still see the shade coming through. Once I've actually kind of mapped out the eye area, I'm gonna go in with a fluffy brush with no product on it, and I'm going to start buffing out that color right at the edges to make sure that it's all blended out, because the idea is to make it look like an ombre effect, not like a harsh line that just ends. So I'm taking this brush and just buffing out those edges. Now what I'll do next is I'll take that same brush that I used the transition color, and I'm going to kind of clean up around the edges to make sure that that blue doesn't scatter and doesn't spread all over the eye. I want to keep it in a designated area, and I'm just cleaning up once again those edges. Now I'm going back with that same shade Velour, and all I'm doing is I'm intensifying that color, since once I blended out those edges, so the intensity kind of blended away. And all I'm doing is just going over the same area that I did before. Once I'm happy with the intensity, I'm going to go back with that same fluffy brush and just carefully go over the edges to make sure that there are no harsh lines. And when I mean carefully, I just mean I'm really going over the areas the right at the border, because I don't want to have that intensity of the blue kind of wash away. Now I'm taking Fix Plus and wetting my brush and taking the metal shade, which is called Nebula, and I'm just going over the entire area that I put that blue. I'm just going over with that metal shade and using patting motions instead of rubbing it. I'm using patting motions, one to have it stick to the eye, and two to avoid any fallout. Once I'm satisfied with the intensity, I'm taking another fluffy brush, which is even smaller than the previous one with no product on it, and again I'm working around the edges to make sure that it all looks blended. And then I'm taking back that color, that brush with the transition shade, and just cleaning up around the eye. And now just to kind of darken and smoke out a little bit more that color, I'm taking the shade Jet from the palette and adding it just to the outer corner of the eye. I'm taking the RCMA, that's the powder that I'm using underneath, and I'm just taking a little bit more on the sponge just to kind of clean out the under eye because it was getting a little messy. And just darkening up that outer corner. Now I'm bringing it to a flat brush, that same color Jet, and applying it to the outer lower lash line. Since I want the outer part of the eye to be the darkest, I'm bringing it to I'm not going to be applying eyeliner, so I'm applying it to the outer lash line on the bottom and the top. Now I'm taking this Bobbi Brown eyeliner and I'm applying it to my waterline all on the lower lash line. Now taking that eyeshadow in the shade Jet, I am going over that eyeliner and setting it with the shadow. To blend all that out, I'm taking the shade Nebula on a pencil brush, and I am buffing out that black shade that I applied right below that. And I'm buffing it all out on the lower lash line. And then again, I'm intensifying the shade as well. I want it to look just as blue on the top as it does on the bottom. And then I'm taking that same little brush, that fluffy brush with no product, and blending out the lower lash line. Now taking this dual fiber brush, I'm just dusting away all of the powder that I applied under the eye. Now I'm taking the metal shade Tinsel from the palette and I'm applying that to the inner corner of the eyes for that pop of sparkle. Now I'm taking this LA Girl lip liner. I'll put the shade down in the description box because I can't remember right now, but it is a brown shade and I am aligning my lips. Then I'm taking the shade Celebrity Skin by Jeffree Star. It's a liquid lipstick and I am applying that over the lip liner. And I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place. I didn't realize after I finished doing my lips that I hadn't even finished my eyes. So I'm going to apply a coat of mascara and I'm going to take the Max Factor X Masterpiece Max High Volume Definition Mascara. Then I'm taking the Ardell Wispies Glamour Wispies lashes and I'm going to apply that. And now with this final step is really what completes this look. I finish up my hair and that is it. I really hope that you enjoyed this look. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you next time. Bye.